Hi guys, it's Eileen here. I was thinking about making an ATC today, but making it kind of, well, ATC size, but making it for a fridge, for a fridge magnet, because a lot of my ATCs I turn into fridge magnets when I don't give them away, because I have too many to give away or whatever, as just an ATC, and some people are not crafty and don't want just a card. So what I do is I make them into a regular ATC, and I put a coating of gel pendant glue. The gel pendant, the jewelry gel pendant stuff here. Jewelry pendant gel. And I put that in there, so then if anything splashes from the kitchen, they can wipe it off. And it works. And I've actually sold a few at a craft fair as fridge magnets. I did explain that I put protectant on them, so then, you know, kids' accents or, you know, ketchup bottle falls on the ground and it splatters, you can wipe them off, because things always get splattered on the fridge. So I was just thinking about making one for you guys, and I made these backgrounds here by these new paints I made with food coloring, and I added water, and I added them to these little bottles here from the dollar store, and I don't even have to label them because you can see the colors through the lids here. And I grabbed 4 bottles and I got 4 colors of food coloring. This is like a limey yellowy green, this is blue, as you can see from the lid. Sorry for my arm there. And this is the purple and the reddish color. So it works really well. On one, these are colored watercolored paper as well that I put them on. Sorry. So I just want to explain that on this watercolor paper I just sprayed them on in each corner kind of. And on this, see right here, this one, you can see how it's got the splatter on it. It's really cool. And then on these ones, I wet the whole paper first, and then I did the one layer of color, another layer of color, another layer of color, and for the most part it mixed in really well, blended in on its own. And then because the paper started curling a bit, there was a little run of like a little valley down the center of the watercolor paper. But it was really cool, so I left, you know, I didn't brush it off, so I left it get little streaks, which looked really, really cool. So that's my background. So I decided to use these as backgrounds for future either ATC cards or, like I said, magnets. So that's what I did with these cards to make them the way they are. I'm going to use this one today. It gives you kind of a really cool background. It's a great, and this is just the cheap 90-pound watercolor, and that's all I've been using in all my watercolor stuff you guys have seen me do. And it's right here, 90-pound, and this probably was from Walmart. It could have even been from the dollar store, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing Walmart. So I like to have extra ATC cards. These ones here, just to share a little bit, are from the coffee filters that I did the stamping on. Here, this one's just wiping up old paint and that, and then I did the embossing across it with the script. So this has got the copper type of embossing on it, if you can see. And when I flattened the coffee filter out as much as I could, it was all wrinkly anyway, so it gave a good texture. So I can glue that onto a card and use that as a background for an ATC. So I cut a few of those out to do that with. And this one, of course, you see me do my Galaxy, where it was a big cardstock, and then I just did the black cardstock, and then I used my white Stampin' Up! Ink pad, and then put color on top because the color stamps weren't showing on the black. But once I put the white ink first, it started showing. And if you guys want to go and look for my video on how to make that, you'll have to, I don't know if you have to look up the Galaxy, how I make ATC cards, something like that. I'm not, I still gotta get a computer to really get my videos going properly because I'm using my iPhone, and so once I get a computer I can really fix it all up and you guys be able to find things better, and I can put links. I can't seem to add links to my stuff. So we're going to get started on this ATC card, which is going to be a fridge magnet. So like I said, I chose this card, and I have all these scrap papers. These are the watercolor ends from cutting them into ATC sizes. I can stamp these into words, cut them out, and that kind of thing. So I keep all of my scraps, even the smaller ones, because they can be, these still can be stamped on, but even if they were small strips, you can use them as borders around the ATC and whatnot. So don't throw anything out. These are cardstock, and they're perfect for stamping out your, say you're stamping out flowers, or I'm going to stamp, I think I'm going to use a dragonfly. You could step them up on here and you can color them in, and then you could put them on here. So keep all your scraps, because I totally do that. I totally keep all of my scraps, and every once in a while I'll go through them just to make sure that, you know, I'm using them and I remember which ones I have. So I'm going to use my dragonfly and perhaps my leaf. Couple of leaves. And this is from Stamp 'em Up. And I'm not sure which stamp set this is from. I don't know if this is the stamp set on here, Touch of Nature. But some of them kind of got squished together on pieces. So I'm going to use a few of those. So I don't know. Sorry if I'm bumping. So I also want to use, I'm going to use my beautiful pad that, oops, I'm bumping things I have. It's underneath my, love it, love it, love it, love it. Like you guys heard me say before, it is just wonderful to have a huge ink pad. So I'm going to use my yellow cream color cardstock, and I'm going to stamp out a couple of dragonflies. And I hold it down and go up. And I already inked my fingernails. And I'm going to do my leaves. Now these ones, I'm actually, I don't know if I should do them directly on. I think I should. But which way would I go? I'm just going to go around and around. I don't know if you can see me stamping it up on here. And I'm going to throw my card on here. Hold it down. And isn't that pretty? I like that. So that is, I also like to use my coffee filters people give me just to kind of get some of the ink off. That is one, and I think I'm going to stamp part of this one here. This is kind of like wildflowers. And I'm going to stamp it here. And I'm going to stamp a second one right here. And I got it on my, that's okay. Got it on my table, but that's okay because I'll just wipe it off. Easy. This is a cutting board that I use. So this is what I have so far. Isn't that cute? This looks like clouds and stuff, so I like that. Now I could just put the dragonflies directly on there, but I'm not sure how I want it, like if I want to just color them up. I think I do. Now, actually I think I'm going to add more of these little weeds, or not weeds, but flowers, wildflowers. Have some a little bit further back. I think that's pretty. And that's what I'm going to do. Now for these guys, I am going to color them with my new crayon gel crayons that I got from Target. And I really love how these work. So I'm very happy I got them for like $3. And this ink pad is like permanent ink, so it's great and crisp and doesn't smear when it gets wet. So even if you like kind of messily paint it, it's perfect. I also used StazOn before this, and the reason why, like, my StazOn dried out and I bought this archival ink, but now I'm really happy with the size of this pad. I think that's why I'm just going to stick with this brand now, or the size of the pad. Like, I just love it. So I'm very happy with it. For this one, I think I'm going to do 2 tones on my dragonfly. So I'm going to do a little bit of a blue as well. And these crayons are just those gel crayons. It's like Gelatos, I guess. I've never used Gelatos, so I can't compare, but I've been wanting to buy them, but they're expensive, and I thought I'd try the Target, and I've been meaning to buy them, and I never had gone there, and I'm like, that's it, I need to buy these. And I'm so happy with them for $3, $3-4. And even just, not even saying just for $3-4, they work great, I think. So I like the two-tone dragonfly. I'm going to add more blue on here. So I'm very happy that I got them. I've just been playing with them like crazy. And you just wet my brush, wipe the tip, or you can even, I'm going to do a little purple on one, you could even directly draw on something and then kind of smear it in. It works. I have other ones that I've done that with, and it works great. Other pages. But this kind of thing, the marker, I started doing these because of the Frugal Crafter, Lindsay. She does a lot of coloring and watercolors and stuff on stamps, and that's where I go like, love it. I never really even thought about it, and like, that's just great. So yeah, so I'm going to dry these little dragonflies, and I'm going to fussy cut them out. So I fussy cut them, and I decided on the placement of where they go, and then I decided, you know what, I want to do them a little bit more dimensional, so I'm going to put them on top the sticky things. And I decided to cut the heads and the legs off on here because I'm going to stamp them onto my page as well, and then do it over top so it has like a three-dimensional look. So I'm hoping that'll look decent, and I hope I put enough ink on here, talking so much, and I thought that would look really cute. So I have the head and the legs on under. So I thought that was going to be a cute idea, and it looks like it's going to be a cute idea. I have these pop dimensional things, and do I want to do the squares or do I want to do the circles? I think I'm going to do the squares, and I'm going to cut them in half and use half on each. So I am going to do that. I'm going to cut this in half right here and put it on my dragonfly's body. And I have, oh, I'm going to have a fun time grabbing that. My paper's sticking to it too well. That's odd. And I'm going to see if I can put it on my dragonfly's body like that. And I'm using black ones because I have the black and the white, because then when you look under you're not going to see the white. It will be a little less noticeable. But I don't think it really matters too much, but yeah, I kind of pay attention to doing that. So now you can see his head, and I'm hoping that these are small enough. I'm going to take the, I hope I can cut them smaller. And you know what, I kind of want some sheen to this. Now, I could put a little bit of gold on it, or a little bit of glitter. I think I'm going to try a little bit of gold. So I'm going to add just a teeny bit of gold paint to it, just because I think that would look really, really cute. And the gold is pretty. This is not a very great paintbrush. The gold is pretty, you know, it's not very dark, so it'll show through. And then this is acrylic dollar store gold paint, and I love it. I love the gold, I love the silver. And I think it's sticking to me, but that's okay because I can use that to my advantage. I'm going to use the back of my paintbrush, try to get it on there a bit straight. And you got the kind of, if you look at the card, you can see the stamp underneath, and I think that gives it a great look. And it's not plain because, of course, you have the color from the background, so it's really cool. Yep. I'm not the greatest fussy cutter, so you can notice I did miss some, but I guess obviously I didn't notice that before I started filming again. Turn it here. Don't want to get too much paint on there. Gotta rub some of that off. But it'll have that glimmer. It's not glitter, but it'll have that glimmer on it. And I think that'll be really cute. I just love the gold from the Dollarama. I don't know if they're all the same. I haven't bought I haven't purchased like inexpensive types of paints, so I haven't tried them. But I seem to be very pleased with the results of. Oh, look at that! Isn't that cute? It's got just enough glitter. You know how when you see a dragonfly, they have just a little glitter in their glimmer in their wings. They're not glittery, but glimmer. I love that. So that's the cards so far. Now I have this little set of inks, alphabet stamp set. It's the little ones, Studio G 30 stamps, and I'm going to stamp the word wish. And I was just looking at my scraps here to see what colors would look. Ooh, I was going to use pink, but I think the yellow would look really nice. So now I'm just going to check if I want to do each block individually or the whole word. So, and that's what this great thing about all these scraps for me is you can do stamping like that. And I think it's just great. I use all my scraps, and if I didn't use this for stamping, I could use it for, let's see if I can do it together, making beads, because I love making paper beads and like layering the paper with cardstock or cardboard, and if you're doing it this way, you will have a little bit of variation of where your letter is going. You know, they'll be not perfectly straight. I have stamps if I wanted to make them perfectly straight that you line up the letters onto the thing, but that's cute. I like the whimsicalness of it, and if it's not perfect, I like that kind of look sometimes, and sometimes I like everything in the right spot. So then I have stamps where they line up, the letters line up in little slots. So I think instead of doing the individuals, I'm going to do this. You can tear it. And I think this is so cute. You can tear it or cut it straight or whatever. I tear a lot, so I think this time I'm just going to, can you see what I'm doing? Snip it as straight as I can. Freehanding it, not being like totally obsessed with my edges, and just having fun, because that's the best way to have fun. So that is that. I think it's cute. I like it's, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a slight kind of little pinky color in there, and it goes more yellowy because it was sprayed the way it was sprayed. So I have this little ink pad that I got from a dollar store. It says Pretty Color Pigment Stamp Pad, and I just use this one for edging because I was using sponges, but I don't always use the sponge. This is really convenient for me. So for $1, I have a nice convenient little travel edging stamp, and I'm not too worried about it because it's just used for that. So if it scrapes up the ink pad, no worries. Isn't that cute? So I could put it up, or I just like that. Isn't that cute? It's very cute. It's very this particular one is very plain. You can do a lot more with things dimensionally. You can do you know, the background stenciling and all that kind of stuff with some plaster or paste and all that kind of stuff. So there's so much you can do. But for this particular one, I want to keep it fairly easy and plain because yeah, now I just gotta figure out where I want this little wish. Sometimes when you see dragonflies flying around and stuff, and they're so whimsical, and it just makes you think of a wish. So then what I would do is I would take my edger again, or and I'm just go around the edges. It just finishes it up. And this was a nice, sweet, and easy card. ATC card, or it can go in front of a card. And I'm going to glue it down. I decided to have it up on top here. And you know, I would put, you could put a glaze over it or whatever. And like I said, I put jewelry gel pendant stuff over it when it's going to be a magnet. And here's a card. A pre-ready card, so you could stick that on a card and make it into a card. You can have another background, you know, rectangular, emboss that, have this on pop dots or hot glue it on because the embossing may not stick, and have it as a card. So you can make ATC cards, and if you have a lot of them, you can use them as cards as well. And another thing I like to do is when you use them as fridge magnets, and you have the sealant so you can wipe it if anything splashes on it. I mean, it's not too hard to do that. You put your little magnet here, and you put it, you want to give it as a gift, you put it on the card, and you put a washer on the inside of the card to hold the little magnet. So then you can give it as a card. Write your little note. Here's your, and you take this off, put it in the fridge. So that's a cute little idea for a gift. You can do Christmas ones as well. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing. So then it's not just a card, but it's also a fridge magnet. I've decided to add a little bit of a backing on there, so I'm just going to do that. I do that with my ATC cards, and I usually do it before I put something dimensional on there. But I have my dragonflies on there, but it's okay because it'll still work. I just thought that if it's going to be a magnet, I like to make it just a little stronger. And so I'm just going to put on this nice, kind of an eggshelly blue cardstock. And like I said, I usually always back up my cards with cardstock, just so then they don't bend and stuff. I was thinking maybe that this paper was thick enough to get away with it, but yeah, it's gonna bend, so I'm just adding that. I did put a little bit of hairspray on because that's what I have on hand. I know there's other sealers, but just for the just in case, I'm not sure how the ink, because this is homemade and I made it with food coloring and water. I don't know if it's going to move or not when I seal it, and when I'm brushing it on, I don't want it to move. So it's just a precaution for me, and I don't want to ruin anything. So I tend to always glue it on and then cut after around, and then you can always add a little bit more ink around if you think you need to. And it just gives it a little bit more strength, and it's more stiff. And it gives it a little bit more color, even though it's on the back side. Don't forget to sign your art and all that kind of stuff and your information on there, even if it's not given as an ATC card. But, and it's on a gift card like this, it's still nice to put the year and when you gave it and your information or your name and title or whatever that you like. So your friends and family will always remember that when and who gave it to them. So I had my glue gun plugged in because I wanted to make this into a magnet. And I will put some glue on. Carefully. Put in the center. Push it down. And it works really well. See? So that'll be on the fridge. Like I said, I seal it. For me, I don't know, you probably could do Mod Podge and that kind of thing and wipe it still, but I like to use the jewelry gel because just for experience, how I like it how it works. And this is not washer, but it gives you the idea of how you can put it onto a card. I hope I'm videotaping this properly. Put it onto a card and you write your information or your note and your happy birthday, Merry Christmas, you know, that kind of thing. And it looks so super nice, like a card. And yeah, you put it in an envelope, and I think it's really nice. And that way, you know, some people don't get so many cards, they don't keep them all, but this one they can keep because they can throw it on the fridge. And like me, I like to sometimes keep my cards, but then I cut the picture out and I use it for art. And then the note, you like to keep it inside a like scrapbook and that kind of thing. So some people do that. Like that's what I would like to do. And then you keep the note, and you'll always have the art on the fridge. So for the jewelry gel stuff, I am just going to show you what I do. I always keep my, I do a lot of stuff with this, so I have a brush just from this and a little cup of water, just for my jewelry pendant gels. So then I could always have my brush ready, and I just use it for that, no glue or anything. And I do my dragonflies. I mean, if it gets splattered even just a little bit, it's not going to be too hard to wipe it up, even with a Q-tip or something. I mean, it's not like it's going to get splattered all the time. And it gives it such a nice finish after it dries too. To me, it's worth it, even if it's a little costly for the glue. For how many of these you're going to make, and for how people are going to love them, it's worth it. I find wiping things off of Mod Podge a little bit not as nice as wiping a little spot or splatter off of the card with the gel, pendant gel. So that's my little thing. I've sold these with different designs. I have made ATCs that are in my art gallery on my Facebook. A lot of them I decided to, that I didn't give away. I decided to sell them because you get so much. And yeah, people are really interested in them. So I sold them for $5 each. That's not bad. And I told them I sealed them with gel. They're wipeable. And there we go. We have really, really nice card gift. Just like that. Ta-da! So I just quickly air dry or blue dry the with my heat tool the gel, and just to show you kind of, don't know if you can see a difference, it's less wet looking, but this is what it looks like dry. So it works really well. The gel goes over top of Mod Podge and any kind of layered paper, anything like that. So it works good. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.